Hey, what is going on, everybody? Boilon here, back for another video on Marvel Strike Force. Are you ready for Omega Red Phoenix Force and the Kiln Tower and his events and all of that stuff? I cannot get over this headpiece. Please, it looks like MS fill. It looks like a fill tool. It looks like somebody took a red the can of paint and filled it into the character. I'm sorry, I had to do this before we started the video. But anyways, in today, we're going to talk all about Kiln, the recommendations of where you need to get to, and also everything that you need to do for this event to get as far as possible to do well in this event. There is a leaderboard here as well, so there's lots of things up for grabs today. So if you are ready to go, everybody, then let's boil this down. And so very quickly, Kiln Forged in Fire, right? Like this is starting on Monday. So I just want to kind of clarify this one. I think it might be a 10-day event from when I'm recording this, anyways. But you do kind of need to get the orb frag. You need to do it within 7 days because that's the event here, the Omega Training event. And so when you're getting these Crimson Hunt orb fragments, you kind of need to do this within 7 days in order to get the progress towards the event, because if you don't, then it's not going to score properly. So make sure you do this. I did some other videos already talking about the difficulty of this. I personally, I think where there might be a challenge might be like floor 19 and 20. Obviously, is purple 3 gated above like floor 16, so take that with a grain of salt. 17, 18, 19, and 20 are purple 3 gated, and I do want to talk about that really quickly here. Now, a lot of the recommendations for this event, the Omega Training event, is kind of like you can get the event item with floor 16. You do kind of need to push your way through floors 14 through 16 here to get enough fragments to get the event item reasonably, though. So that is kind of the expectation here for the Omega Training event. That being said, that will get you a 3 yellow, and it's fairly easy to get a 2 yellow, level 70 recommendations. So honestly, I will be doing some recording on Monday for Kiln Tower, but I suspect there's probably not going to be any challenging, gameplay worth recording until floor 17 and above, 17, 18, 19, and 20 with the purple level 3s. I don't think the rest of it's going to be that difficult. That's just my opinions. Anyways, now before we get to the math here, of course, we can get started. Actually, let's go to the event table, right? Let's go full screen mode and talk about what's up for grabs here in this event. So you can go see over here. Obviously, we have the dumbbells, we have XP. So this is interesting because it seems that, if you go up to the event item, you're getting about 5,000 XP all the way down here, every single week, which is quite a bit. It does seem that they're trying to push us and move us along to the level cap a lot faster than what they had in the past, because they never included XP before, but they haven't really ratcheted up how much XP we need per level as well. So all in all, this is actually a faster level up experience than what any of the level caps were before this. So that part's interesting. Seems like they may maintain this XP in the event milestones for a little while, or at least, as long as it's relevant for us to climb to 105. And so the original 2 weeks per level honestly can probably be brought down to like 10 to 11 days, given the fact that we're getting all this additional XP. Also, there's a Cosmic Crucible tournament, which has been ongoing right now, and that gives like 10,000 just for doing the Cosmic Crucible 32 tournament. So, there's lots of ways that they're just chucking free XP at us. So anyways, for those of you whales out there, there is a 7 red star Shadow King there at the very bottom, which, the majority of, none of us are really going to get to. But I think I forgot to bring it up. There is a leaderboard. Where's the... Nope, wrong. I did not bring up the leaderboard. But there's a leaderboard for Shadow King Diamonds, right? Which is only for the top 2,000, so most of us are not going to get that. Anyways, the point structure is pretty straightforward. There is points for absolute A-Force at 5, 6, 7 yellow. Don't worry, because you can just use your Wasp and Ironheart. Hopefully you have them farmed up at 7 yellow, and you can just use them in a regular attack, even if you don't even have the rest of the absolute A-Force build, so you can get points that way. And then there's bonus kind of whale points for Jean Grey and Hercules, which we'll talk about when we actually dive in. So let's get started anyways for that. So let's move over. Omega Training is a 7-day event. It requires ISO 8 energy plus Kiln Tower plus War with absolute A-Force and bonus points, whale points for Hercules and Crucible with Jean Grey, or War with Hercules and Crucible with Jean Grey. I do actually have a 5 yellow Jean Grey, but that's because I cored her and I got super, super lucky. I think I pulled a jackpot on her, so, take that with a grain of salt. If you do have extra points for this, then it might make it a little bit easier for you. maybe it might make a difference on the leaderboard side of things. The total milestone points required is 335,000, but obviously we're not going to get there. The event item is, however, at 85,000. This is milestone 14, and this is, I would say, reasonably obtainable. The free claims, now this is varied apparently, you know, over the last 2 events. I'm putting 500 daily, but like we had a weird one for mental mastery where I think it was 50 energy, and that equated to only 300 points daily. So we'll see what they end up giving. I'm hoping they just go back to like a flat 500. Total XP available is 10,000, but for most of us, you know, we're getting about 5,000 XP per week. Total milestone points on the web is going to be 38,000. Now, this is 22,000 direct milestone points and then 8,000 fragments, which is multiplied by 2 because it's a 2-to-1 ratio on the fragments. The last 2,000 fragments are kind of hard. I'm going to talk about it down here. So it is 2,800 uncanny energy for basically everything but the 2K. And that's only 8 extra refreshes over 7 days. So that's like 50 cores a day, basically, to get this. And this part's pretty easy. If you do want to push to get that extra 4,000 points or 2,000 orb fragments, then you would need to do 20 refreshes instead of 8. And that's equivalent to about 150 cores daily. So do keep that in mind. I'm going to bring that up right here. This is the web milestone here. So if we zoom in here, 2,000 Crimson Hunt orb fragments, which is in the last one, but it's a difference between 28,000 and 48,000 points over here. So 20 refreshes difference in terms of points because it is still 10-to-1 here on the uncanny energy. So do keep that in mind. Decide what you want to do. If you want to spend the extra 20 refreshes to get 2 million gold and the extra 4,000 points. If you're pushing the leaderboard, like if you care about the leaderboard, then you're going to need to push this web milestone. But if you don't care about the leaderboard, if you don't really need the purple ISO or the stuff that's, you know, the top 10,000 on the leaderboard, then I probably wouldn't. I don't actually think the 2,000 gold is really that much. I think the cores might actually be more valuable right now because I do feel we're in a pretty decent place when it comes to gold. I know I'm sitting on a lot that I'm just not really doing much right now with, and I know that we're in a level cap, which is interesting. I'm just not going out and blowing it on all those characters. I'm just kind of like saving as we go. So anyways, also I forgot to talk about the Into the Spotlight milestone thing, the raid thing, but they haven't actually changed this, surprisingly. They haven't raised the bar, they haven't moved the goalposts or anything like that, which they have done on previous versions of these raid milestones. So I'm pretty shocked that they haven't actually done any of this. Now, I think I did mention last time as well that if you were to save your raid keys on Sunday and then you're able to do 100% clear on Spotlight Raid, it's actually worth doing 6 days a week raiding and then saving your Sunday keys and then just wait for Monday onwards when this goes live so that you can do more raids in a shorter space of time and get that milestone 20 to get that 800,000 purple ions. That's a lot. So I just cleared this with my alliance because we're able to 100%. This is only going to be if you can do that, though. Otherwise, you know, just disregard and ignore what I just said because you won't be able to do it anyways. Let's get back to the math, though. So again, we have Crimson Hunt Orb Fragments. That's 2-to-1 here. There's no real limit there. Spending ISO 8 energy. This is 1 point. This is really low. Like, they've actually told us here, like, it's almost inconsequential to some degree. But this is the only free-to-play input beyond, you know, if you do Kiln Tower to floor 20, this is the only free-to-play input. So if you do, or if you're trying to push the leaderboard, this is literally the only other way in a free-to-play manner to be able to push that leaderboard. So it sucks because you're not getting a lot out of using this. That's all. Using Absolute A-Force in War, you get 3,000 points, 6,000 points, and 12,000 points at 5, 6, 7 yellow. Again, you kind of only need to use Wasp and Ironheart 6 times. Sorry, this is actually 3 times, but if you use them both 3 times, it's 6 characters total, right? Okay, so if you use them over 3 wars in the week, Wasp and Ironheart both are at 7 yellow. You'll get all the points here, the 3,000, 6,000, and 12,000 points. This is pretty important. If you don't have this, if you don't have the Wasp and Ironheart at 7-star, you're probably not going to get the event item. This is basically a requirement for that, so just a heads up for that. Hercules War, 5, 6, 7 yellow. Jean Grey, 5, 6, 7 yellow Crucible. These are bonus points here, not really going to go. That's why they're in yellow, so if you see anything in a yellow or orange highlight, that is kind of whale-ish kind of stuff, or I'm cautious about it. It's basically a caution. Total ISO 8 energy, 1,130 if you're doing 3 refreshes a day, because you do get this free pack from the villain's objective, so it only requires 150 cores daily, and that's going to be about 7,910 points over 7 days, because it's literally just this times 7. It's not a lot of points, because this is the only time where it's like, it's just a 1-to-1, it's really not worth a lot. But again, if you're trying to push the leaderboard, this is pretty much the only thing that you can do. Now, the total orb fragments from Kiln, this is going to depend, right? You know, it's going to depend on how far you're pushing. You can see here, floor 20 gives 6,000. That's a lot, right? But that's purple 3. Same with floor 18 is purple 3 area. So there's 10,000 orb fragments here in the purple 3 area. Otherwise, milestone 16 or floor 16, this is at the end of the level 95 blue 3 section. And so this is kind of what I've talked about in here. So total orb fragments in Kiln at floor 16, this will get you a 3 yellow omega red is 10,000 fragments, but it's actually 20,000 points because you're multiplying it by 2. So that is what I would say the easier reasonable points that we're going to include. I have 2 different scenarios here because if you're going to basically, if you don't do this, you're not going to get the event item either. So this is kind of a bare minimum requirement for that. Now, if you go all the way, and if you're able to clear floor 20, and again, I'm going to have a video on Monday afternoon sometime when I do those higher level floors. This is going to get you a 4 yellow omega red. You're going to get 20,000 orb fragments, and that's going to result in 40,000 points. Multiply it by 2. This is the level 100 purple 3 difficulty, though, so do keep that in mind as well. So if we add up all the other points, we're going to start with the total reasonable points for 200 cores daily. This is basically going to be all but the last web milestone, web milestone, and floor 16. This will give you 86,000 points. So that's going to be this 20,000. That's going to be this 7910. That's going to be these points from Absolute A-Force, and the web milestone points sans the 2,000 fragments, and then the free claim. That's going to get you to 86,400. That does get you to milestone 14, which is the event item, because if you go over here, it is actually, you know what? It's just, so I kind of rounded up a little bit. It's just shy of the 85,000 that you need for the energy drink. So, oh, no, sorry, we are there. Yeah, I'm stupid. Disregard that. I'm stupid. I should have edited that out. I'm stupid. It was 1,400 points above that. I don't know what I was thinking. I thought it was 86,000, not 85,000. So no, it does get you there. Don't worry about that. Now the total reasonable points, if you do all of the web milestone, which is 300 cores daily at this point, because you're talking about the ISO 8 energy, and you're talking about the web milestone, plus floor 20 in Kiln, you're going to get 110,000. This is close to milestone 16, which does require 113,000. So this is tough because there might be some bonus free claims, right? There could be the free claim Friday, which is not included here. Sometimes there's like weekend free claims that have additional points as well. So you might be able to get this without having to core a lot of ISO 8, but it's quite close. And so what would you get for doing that if you did want to push it? Some red gear, 1,000 extra XP, and 10 raid gear orbs. It's not a lot. 1,000 XP. You'd have to do because we don't know what we're going to get extra, but you might have to do a lot of additional ISO 8 core refreshes. Now, I don't think I'm personally going to do it. Two reasons for that. Mostly, like, I don't want to spend the additional cores to get to milestone 16, and also that I don't really care about the leaderboard personally for me because I'm post Odin. So this is kind of a weird number because there's really not a whole lot you can do to kind of get to 113,000 other than, you know, to spend more ISO 8 energy. That's the only thing that you can do, and that's a little bit unfortunate. So my final notes for this event, again, this event is a leaderboard. So my previous recommendations that I normally say would apply here. If you need purple ISO for Odin or Spotlight Raid 2, or you want to save for upcoming possible events, then you should try for this event. If you're post Odin like me, with a lot of purple ISO, then there's really no huge reason to push, in my opinion. The event item is reasonably attainable, but you do need to make progress to around floors 14 through 16 in Kiln, which is that level 95 kind of blue 3 range of the Kiln Tower. So do keep that in mind as well. Otherwise, you know, it is what it is. Hopefully we'll have some fun of reasonable, or not reasonable, actual gameplay. That's what I meant to say. You know, especially after the last few days, weeks, really. I mean, just not a lot of things to do. You know, I log in, I push my buttons, I log off. Like within like 10 minutes, I log off for the day. And I haven't had a whole lot of things to do. And I really hope that Monday gives me something to do. And there's going to be some recordings. There's going to be some gameplay videos showing up on Monday as well. And of course, this spreadsheet will be on my Discord server as well on Monday when the event goes live. So that's the end of the event video, everyone. I hope that you have a great rest of the weekend. And until next time, stay safe and healthy. And I'll see you all later. Boilon signing out.